Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at not Quantum Starfarer, because I've covered that in a video already, but two of the books that use this rule set. But real quick, Quantum Starfarer is a Cepheus-driven, very light rules version of playing the Cepheus engine. So it's a 2x6, primarily space game, and Quantum Starfarer used the Quantum Engine by Stellagama Publishing. By the way, I want to thank Stellagama for all three of these for me to take a look at. And I took a look at Quantum Starfarer a few months ago, and I went over in detail what's inside this book. But this is the core rule book that you would use to play either of these, Superpowered or Solar Sagas. Superpowered by Richard Hazelwood. We're going to take a look at that one first. If you ever wanted to be a superhero, now is your chance. This is a 2x6 open game license set of rules to play a superhero or villain, depending on how you want to run your campaign, written by Richard Hazelwood, and it goes into all the introduction and everything to get excited about playing a superhero. So if you want to play somebody out of the comic books, or even the massive amount of superhero TV shows and movies in the last 15 years or so, this is your opportunity. You can go ahead and use the 2x6 rules, and out of this book, you can make pretty much whatever you want. I love the artwork. So you can set up your superpowers, and here they are. And again, this is a 2x6 based set of rules with the idea that the rules kind of get out of your way and you just play the game. I kind of like that. I am a big fan of the Champions system, the hero game system, which uses lots and lots of d6. Up into the 20s, depending on the level of character you're playing. And I like that, but that game gets incredibly rules intensive and can get very math heavy very quickly. This is a cleaner, simpler way of doing much the same thing. You can go ahead and you can establish what your character wants to be. So one of the ones I really enjoy when I play is a speedster. You are fast, really fast. You can be faster than sound, faster than light, or faster than thought. And you can go ahead and you can establish it that your character is super fast. How is he super fast? How does he go about it? What weaknesses does he have? And then description of superpowers. So all this under the 2x6 open game license. So using the Cepheus rules. And a lot of this stuff will apply itself to other 2x6 science fiction role-playing games. Maybe you want somebody who has stretching, but maybe it's not a person that's got stretching so much as an animal. Maybe it's a hunter-pouncer that has stretching. Somehow it can elongate its tongue like a frog on Earth and snag you from 2 hexes away. A lot of different ways to take this and adapt it into just a standard science fiction role-playing game. So you don't have to just stay with a superhero theme. Superhero stuff lends itself very nicely to any kind of space opera setting that you care to think about, especially the psionic ends of it and things like that. So here we are. We've got all the different realms that you could have as far as powers of earth, fire, force, health, ice. A lot of stuff you can do with this. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the read-through on this guy. It's very well written. Very simple read as far as just going through the rules. You're not going to be buried in mechanics with this. You're going to be able to go ahead and set the mechanics as high or as low as you like them. And that's another advantage. I like the Champions, the hero system, but everyone says, oh, it's very math intensive. It is. The other thing that Champs falls down a little bit with is the length of time to play a game. Each Champions round is 1 second of full or action, and then each round is 12 seconds. I have had 3 to 5 hour Champions games take place in less than 36 seconds game time, simply because the mechanics of Champions can be very slow. This also defeats that problem. Here's the section on psionics that I was just saying that you could just take and adapt to any of your 2x6 role-playing game, and would work very nicely. This would also work extremely well with Gamma World, or any other post-apocalyptic stagger through the ruins, have mutations kind of game. So I really like the effort that they put into this. I like that they have the different areas of power, weather, whatever it is, and then some traits that you can and can't get. with your character. So, for instance, pass without trace. You leave no sign in wilderness settings and thus cannot be tracked. So, if you're playing a Tarzan type character or Kraven the Hunter is coming out in a movie, that might be a good trait that he would have. You could actually make very good Kraven out of these rules. It's funny, when I was reading this, the Kraven trailer popped up on YouTube, and I watched it while this was open in my lap, and I thought, oh, that's kind of fortuitous. So that was one of the things that was on my mind as I was reading this. So that's the first one. I'm not going to go through every single page, but you could definitely build a good superhero universe out of this. One other thing I do want to hit is you have basically, for lack of a better term, a monster manual. You've got all these different creatures that your heroes can fight. I thought this was kind of neat, and they'd also make pretty good templates for characters. So if you want to have horrid creatures stalk the wilderness, ruins, and even the city streets at night, but you can also use them as templates for new characters. I did skip the non-player character section. So this would be a real good source of inspiration, especially if you're doing any kind of post-apocalyptic kind of game. So there you have it. Kind of keep going through here. I like a good monster manual, especially in a book like this. Here we go. Example, heroes and villains. This is the part I was trying to get to. We have Ultraman, Tremor, Firefly, Mind Queen, Shadowcat, the Badger. And then we have different villains. So we have the different villains, the Dragon, Immunity, Lady Lightning, Shadow Flame, Warhammer. You get the idea. So it goes 98 pages, and then we get to the legal info. Then we want to take a look at Solar Sagas. This is by Robert Garita. I enjoyed the heck out of this one. I've liked everything I've read so far from by Stellagama. The stuff reads very quickly, and it's good. It's a good, fun read. Very rules light across the board. This also is for use with their Quantum Starfarer engine, and the introduction is basically it's a retro future setting for Quantum Starfarer. So basically, the idea is that we don't have faster than light transportation, so all of this can take place right in our own solar system, and you don't bury yourself worrying about distances traveled and how long it takes you to get there. You can put that in or not as you want, but there are a ton of different races alien to humans that live in our solar system, on the moon, on Venus, on Mars, and they all have their different agendas and their different reactions to dealing with these upstart humans who have just used their rockets to zoom into space. I loved this. I really got a blast out of it. I love the artwork. I got a real kick out of this idea that we're going back to the Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers type thing, but we're also touching on When Worlds Collide, the excellent George Pal film. You're also getting into some of the old Godzillas. In Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, the heroes routinely just jump in their rocket and fly to moon base. I forget the name of the moon base off the top of my head, but they fly to the moon base, and then when they're done, they just fly home, and then they have to fly back out and deal with an alien creature, and never refueling, never stopping for any kind of repair or upgrades or anything. Off they go. It's just like they're driving their car to the store. And it's a joke in our house that these guys are just going to the moon for a pack of cigarettes. I found it that amusing, and that really came to mind when I was reading this. So each of the different planets supports different creatures, and these creatures have different agendas. So Luna has the Selenites. Leave us alone. Selenite, anytime, is a quote from the Selenites. And you go into how you deal with the Selenites and how we tried to send an expedition to the moon, and it was shot down, and we sent another one, and they were shot down, and the third one got back, but we got information that there are creatures that live there that don't want contact with Earth. And the other thing that's fun about these is if you get out of the ship and you're going to go ahead and explore the planet, the most you're going to need is a breather or maybe your spacesuit. The gravity is not going to crush you. The atmosphere is not necessarily going to dissolve you or crush you. The atmosphere could. It's not going to be so harsh that the instant you get out, you die from breathing it in. No, no, no. Most of the atmospheres are something humans can deal with, but you might have to wear, a breather mask or something. Again, going to the 1950s hand wave of physics and just going forward with having fun. So playability is key. There's a very Buck Rogers looking, Flash Gordon actually, Flash Gordon looking symbol right there. Uh, I love the rocket, the fins, and everything. That's just outstanding. I love the artwork in this. I'm an old comic book fan, as you probably know. So any kind of artwork like that is always going to get me. This is just a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff in here. Again, if you're not going to play this setting, there's still enough in here that you can snag it and use it for any other type of game, other 2-6 games. If you wanted to put it in Superpowered, make the moon of Earth in Superpowered, basically out of this book, you can do that. If you want to put it in other games like Gamma World, like other 2-6 science fiction games, absolutely easy to adapt. So that's really it. That's what I wanted to say on all three of these. I just really enjoyed these games. One thing I do like too is you can play non-humans as a player character if you wanted to. Very free rules. And the number rule 0 on all of these, it's one of the things I love about the Quantum Engine books, the entire series. Rule 0 is ignore whatever rules you don't want to abide by. It's your game. Do whatever you want. I love that philosophy. I always have. I've always role-played by that philosophy. And if it's an important key rule in a more complicated game, I'll always ask players, what do you think? How are we going to rule on this? But generally, if it's a game like this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of put it together, present it to my players, and we'll play the way I taught them we were going to play it. And that's usually how it goes. So that's all I've got to say today from page 121. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put links below for all three of these books. If you have any comments, please leave them. Please subscribe. Subscriptions are down. I know it's summertime, so viewership is right where it was, but subscriptions are down. So I would like to go ahead and keep the channel growing because I have to keep it growing to keep it going. So we're making good progress, and I want to do more. But that's all I've got to say today for page 121. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.